Hello there and welcome to the Science for Sleep channel. Tonight we'll explore radiation, the invisible energy that has existed for billions of years. Chernobyl, Goiânia, Fukushima. These places hold secrets we're only beginning to understand. Some radiation is beautiful, like the blue glow of cesium. Some is dangerous, like the ghost still walking through Chernobyl. And some is part of us, part of nature. You've got nothing to do but rest. Let your mind drift, your breathing slow, and your body grow light. There's nothing to worry about. Nothing to do but listen and relax. Chernobyl liberated 400 times more radiation than the Hiroshima bomb. It was the biggest nuclear accident in history. When I think about this number, it's hard to even imagine what 400 times means. The Hiroshima bomb was already one of the most terrible things humans have done, killing hundreds of thousands of people instantly. But Chernobyl, which happened in 1986 in Ukraine, released radiation that was 400 times stronger than that bomb. This wasn't a weapon. It was a power plant that exploded during a safety test. The reactor blew up, sending massive amounts of radioactive material into the air, and that radiation spread across Europe. What makes this even more shocking is that Chernobyl was supposed to be safe. They had training, they had protocols. But everything went wrong in just minutes. When I read about this, I feel a kind of quiet horror. It's not like a war or a natural disaster. It's something humans created, something we thought would help us, but instead it became the most dangerous nuclear accident ever. The radiation didn't just kill people immediately. It contaminated the air, the soil, the water, and it's still there today. 40 years later, scientists can still find traces of Chernobyl's radiation in blood tests from people living in Europe. This is the kind of thing that makes you think about how powerful and dangerous technology can be when we don't control it perfectly. Chernobyl is not just a place. It's a warning. Chernobyl released radiation that still shows up in blood tests in Europe, 40 years later. This is one of the most disturbing facts I've ever learned about radiation. When something happens 40 years ago, you usually think it's gone. That time has healed everything. But with Chernobyl, the radiation is still there, still moving through the air, still settling in the soil, and still entering human bodies. Scientists have found radioactive particles from Chernobyl in the blood of people living in countries thousands of kilometers away from Ukraine. This means the radiation didn't just disappear. It traveled, it spread, and it's still part of our world. When I think about this, I feel a strange kind of sadness. These people didn't choose to be exposed to Chernobyl's radiation. They were just living their lives, eating food, drinking water, breathing air. And somehow, radioactive particles from an accident that happened 40 years ago ended up inside them. It's invisible, it's silent, and it's still happening. This fact makes me realize that some mistakes we make as humans don't have an end date. They don't just stop after a few years. Chernobyl's radiation is a ghost that's still walking through Europe, still finding its way into our bodies, still reminding us that what we release into the world can stay there forever. It's not just about the people who died in 1986. It's about all of us who are still living with the consequences. And that's terrifying. The cesium-137 from Goiânia glowed in the dark like something magical. But it was invisible death. This story from Brazil is one of the most heartbreaking nuclear accidents I've ever read about. In 1987, in Goiânia, two scavengers found an abandoned radiotherapy machine in a dump. Inside it was cesium-137, a radioactive material that was used to treat cancer patients. But when they opened the machine, they saw something amazing. The cesium was glowing with a beautiful blue light. It looked magical, like something from a fantasy movie. They thought it was precious, maybe valuable, so they took it home and showed it to their family. They didn't know it was radiation. They didn't know it was killing them. The blue glow was so beautiful that people were attracted to it, like it was a treasure. But that beautiful light was actually death. The cesium contaminated their house, their clothes, their food, and even the water in their well. 4 people died from this accident, and 49 others were contaminated. When I think about this, I feel so sad for those people. They didn't do anything wrong. They were just curious, they were just human. They saw something beautiful, and they wanted to understand it. But that beauty was hiding something deadly. The cesium-137 looked like magic, but it was actually poison. This is one of the most dangerous things about radiation. It's invisible, it's silent, and sometimes it looks beautiful. The blue glow of cesium is one of the most terrifying things I've ever heard about. It's like nature's trap. Something that attracts you with beauty, but kills you with radiation. In Chernobyl, a worker died in just 14 days from standing too close to the exposed reactor. This is one of the most brutal facts about the Chernobyl accident. There was a worker named Valery Kadymchuk, and he was one of the first people to die when the reactor exploded. But there was another worker, whose name I won't forget, who survived the initial explosion, but then went back to the reactor site. He stood too close to the exposed core, and the radiation was so intense that it destroyed his body from the inside. In just 14 days, he died. This wasn't a slow illness. It was radiation poisoning so severe that his organs failed, his skin burned, and his body couldn't fight back. The radiation from the exposed reactor was so strong that it killed him faster than almost any other nuclear accident in history. When I read about this, I feel a kind of horror that's hard to describe. This person was just doing his job, trying to help, trying to fix the problem. But the radiation was so powerful that it turned his own body against him. His cells died, his DNA was destroyed, and within 2 weeks, he was gone. This is what happens when radiation is too strong. It doesn't just make you sick, it kills you quickly and brutally. The worker at Chernobyl didn't have a chance. The radiation was so intense that nothing could save him. This fact makes me realize how dangerous unchecked radiation can be. It's not just about long-term cancer. It's about immediate, brutal death. And that's one of the most terrifying things about nuclear accidents. In Goiânia, the cesium contaminated an entire house and the water well. The whole family had to be rescued. This is the part of the Goiânia accident that makes me feel the most sadness. The 2 scavengers who found the cesium brought it home, and then their entire family was exposed. The cesium didn't just stay in one room. It spread through the house, contaminating the floors, the walls, the furniture, and even the water in their well. Every time someone drank water from that well, they were swallowing radiation. Every time they touched the walls, they were picking up radioactive particles. The whole house became a death trap. When authorities finally found out what happened, they had to rescue the entire family. Not just the 2 scavengers, but their children, their parents, their neighbors. More than 249 people were contaminated in total, and 4 of them died. The house was so contaminated that it had to be demolished, and all the dirt around it had to be removed. 3 meters of soil taken away and buried in a special place. When I think about this family, I feel so angry and so sad. They didn't know what they were doing. They were just human, just curious, just trying to understand something that looked beautiful. But that beauty was hiding death. The cesium contaminated their entire home, their water, their lives. They had to leave everything they owned, everything they loved, because it was all poisoned. This is one of the most tragic parts of the Goiânia accident. It wasn't just about the people who died. It was about the families who lost everything, who had to escape their own homes, who had to live with the knowledge that their house was killing them. In Fukushima, fish were found with 25,000 times the safe limit of radiation. You couldn't eat them. This is one of the most shocking facts about the Fukushima accident in Japan. When the earthquake and tsunami hit in 2011, they destroyed the nuclear power plant, and reactors exploded, releasing massive amounts of radiation into the air and the ocean. The radiation didn't just stay on land. It flowed into the sea, contaminating the water, the fish, and the entire marine ecosystem. Scientists tested the fish near Fukushima and found some with radiation levels 25,000 higher than what's considered safe for humans to eat. That's not just a little bit dangerous. It's absolutely poisonous. When I think about this, I feel a deep worry about the ocean. The ocean is supposed to be this vast, clean place that gives us food, but after Fukushima, parts of it became toxic. The fish that lived near the damaged reactors absorbed all that radiation into their bodies. And if someone ate them, they would be swallowing poison. Japan had to ban fishing in many areas, and they've been monitoring the seafood for over a decade to make sure it's safe. But the truth is, some of that radiation is still there, still in the fish, still in the water. This is what happens when nuclear accidents happen near the ocean. The contamination doesn't stop at the shore. It spreads, it travels, and it becomes part of the food chain. When I read about these fish with 25,000 times the safe limit, I can't imagine what it must have been like for the people in Fukushima who depended on fishing for their lives. Their ocean, their source of food and income, became dangerous. They couldn't eat what they caught, they couldn't sell it, and they had to leave everything behind. The ocean should be life, but after Fukushima, parts of it became death. In Russia, 1999, a scientist died from holding a tube with radiation for just 2 seconds. This is one of the most terrifying and fast nuclear accidents I've ever learned about. It happened at a research facility in Russia, and a scientist was working with a tube that contained highly radioactive material. He didn't know it was that dangerous, or maybe he thought he was protected, but he held the tube for only 2 seconds. That's not even enough time to finish saying, 2. But in those 2 seconds, the radiation was so intense that it destroyed his body from the inside. He didn't die immediately. He survived for a few days, but his organs started failing, his skin burned, and his DNA was completely destroyed. Within a week, he was dead. This is how powerful radiation can be when it's unchecked. 2 seconds. That's how long it took for radiation to kill a human being. When I think about this, I feel a kind of horror that's hard to describe. This wasn't a nuclear explosion, this wasn't a bomb. It was just a scientist holding a tube for 2 seconds. And that was enough to kill him. It makes me realize how dangerous radiation can be, even in small amounts, even when you're not expecting it. This scientist was probably trained, probably knew the risks, but something went wrong. Maybe he didn't know the tube was that strong. Maybe he thought he had protection, but it didn't matter. The radiation was too powerful and 2 seconds was enough. This is one of the most brutal facts about radiation. It doesn't wait. It doesn't give you time to think. It just acts and it destroys. And in this case, it destroyed a human life in less time than it takes to blink. In Chernobyl, the white elephant is concrete that turned black from radiation so strong, it looks like a monster. When I first heard about the white elephant at Chernobyl, I thought it was some kind of animal or a strange creature. But it's actually a massive block of concrete, one of the most terrifying sights left from the accident. After the reactor exploded, the concrete around it was exposed to radiation so intense that it changed color. It turned from white to black, like it was burned by something invisible. The radiation was so powerful that it actually modified the concrete itself, turning it into this dark, monstrous-looking structure. Scientists call it the white elephant because it's huge, it's heavy, and it looks like some kind of ancient beast that's been waiting there for decades. When I imagine standing near it, I feel a kind of fear that's hard to explain. This is concrete, something we use to build houses, to make roads, to create safe structures. But at Chernobyl, radiation turned it into something dark, something dangerous, something that looks like a monster. The white elephant is still there 40 years later, still black, still radioactive. It's a monument to what happened, a reminder that radiation can change even the hardest materials. When I think about this, I realize that radiation doesn't just hurt humans. It changes everything it touches. It turns white concrete into black monsters. It turns safe buildings into death traps. It turns ordinary places into zones of danger. The white elephant is one of the most haunting symbols of Chernobyl, and it's still there, waiting, watching, reminding us of what humans can do when we lose control. In Goiânia, a child brought the cesium home and played with it, contaminating the entire family. This is the part of the Goiânia accident that makes me feel the most pain. A child, just a kid, found this beautiful blue glowing material and thought it was something fun, something magical. Kids are curious. They touch things. They play with things. They don't understand danger. This child brought the cesium home, showed it to their family, and they all played with it. They touched it, they held it. They maybe even put it close to their faces. They didn't know it was radiation. They didn't know it was killing them. And because a child played with it, the entire family was contaminated. The radiation spread through the house, through their clothes, through their bodies. 4 people died, and 249 others were contaminated, but the story of this child is the most heartbreaking part. A child, just innocent, just curious, just wanting to play with something beautiful, ended up causing one of the worst nuclear accidents in Brazil's history. When I think about this, I feel so sad. This child didn't do anything wrong. They were just a kid. They saw something that looked magical, and they wanted to understand it. But that magic was hiding death. The cesium-137 looked beautiful, but it was poison. And because a child played with it, their whole family suffered. This is one of the most tragic lessons about radiation. It's invisible, it's silent, and sometimes it looks beautiful. The blue glow of cesium attracted this child, and that attraction became a tragedy. It's a reminder that not everything that looks nice is safe, and not everything that glows is good. In Fukushima, trees grew twisted and abnormal because of the radiation. After the nuclear accident at Fukushima in 2011, something strange started happening in the forests near the damaged power plant. The trees, which should have grown straight and healthy, started growing twisted, bent, and abnormal. Some trees curled in weird directions, some grew with strange shapes, and some even died completely. The radiation from the reactor was so strong that it affected the DNA of the trees, changing how they grew. It's like the radiation was rewriting the code of life, making the trees grow in ways they shouldn't. When I see pictures of these twisted trees, I feel a deep sadness. Trees are supposed to be strong, supposed to grow tall and straight, supposed to give us life. But after Fukushima, the radiation turned them into something broken, something unnatural. It's one of the most visible signs of what radiation can do. It doesn't just hurt humans, it hurts everything. The plants, the animals, the entire ecosystem. The trees at Fukushima are still there, still twisted, still showing the damage from that accident. They're like silent witnesses, reminding us of what happened. And the fact that trees, which are supposed to be so strong and resilient, could be changed by radiation is terrifying. It makes me realize that radiation doesn't just kill. It changes, it distorts, it breaks the natural order. The twisted trees of Fukushima are one of the most haunting images of that accident. And they're still there, 16 years later, showing us that some damage never fully goes away. Cesium-137 stays radioactive for 30 years before losing half of its power. This is one of the most important facts to understand about radiation, and it's something that makes nuclear accidents so dangerous for so long. When cesium-137 is released into the environment, it doesn't just disappear after a few days or weeks. It stays there for decades, still radioactive, still dangerous. The number 30 years is what scientists call the half-life. It means that after 30 years, only half of the cesium is still radioactive. The other half has decayed, turned into something else. But that half that's still there, it's still killing, still contaminating, still dangerous. So if you think about Goiânia, which happened in 1987, that's almost 40 years ago. But the cesium from that accident is still around, still radioactive, still a threat. It'll take another 30 years for it to lose half of what's left, and another 30 after that, and another 30. It's like a slow poison that never fully goes away. When I think about this, I feel a kind of dread. These accidents don't just end. They don't have a clean finish. The radiation stays, it lingers, it waits. And people who live near contaminated areas have to deal with it for their entire lives, and their children's lives, and their grandchildren's lives. The cesium-137 from Goiânia is still there. The radiation from Chernobyl is still there. The radiation from Fukushima is still there. They're like ghosts that won't leave, shadows that won't fade. This is what makes nuclear accidents so terrifying. They're not just about the moment they happen. They're about everything that comes after. 30 years. That's how long it takes for cesium to lose half its power. But even after that, it's still dangerous. And that's the truth we have to face. In Chernobyl, the soil near the reactor still has radiation that explodes meters in seconds. This is one of the most frightening facts about Chernobyl that I've ever learned. 40 years after the accident, the soil right next to the exploded reactor is still so radioactive that if you bring a radiation meter close to it, the meter will explode in seconds. It's not just that the meter will show a high number. It will actually break, stop working, maybe even burn out. The radiation is that intense. When I think about standing there, near that soil, I can't imagine what it would feel like. You couldn't see it, you couldn't smell it. You couldn't feel it, but it's there, waiting, and it's so strong that it can destroy equipment in seconds. This is the kind of place where humans can't go, where nothing can survive. The soil near the reactor at Chernobyl is one of the most dangerous places on Earth. Scientists have to use special equipment, special protection, and they can only spend a few minutes there before they have to leave. Even with all that protection, the radiation is still so strong that it's a constant threat. When I read about this, I feel a deep fear. This is soil. The same kind of soil that grows plants, that feeds animals, that humans walk on every day. But at Chernobyl, the soil became something else. It became a death trap. It became a place where radiation is so intense that it can destroy machines in seconds. And it's still there, 40 years later, still waiting, still dangerous. This is what happens when you release too much radiation into the environment. It doesn't just go away. It stays, it builds up, it becomes part of the Earth itself. The soil at Chernobyl is a reminder that some mistakes are permanent. Some places become too dangerous to ever return to, and that soil, right next to the reactor, is one of those places. Hospitals use radiation to sterilize food, killing bacteria without fire. This is one of the most interesting and positive uses of radiation that I've learned about. It's not just about accidents and death. Radiation can also save lives, and it does, in ways that most people don't even know. Hospitals and food companies use radiation to sterilize food, which means they expose it to small amounts of radiation to kill bacteria, viruses, and other harmful things without using heat or chemicals. Think about it. You can take a piece of fruit, expose it to radiation, and all the bacteria on it die. The fruit doesn't get burned, it doesn't get cooked, it doesn't change at all. But the dangerous stuff is gone. This is how some food stays fresh for weeks or months without going bad. It's also how medical equipment gets sterilized. Syringes, gloves, surgical tools, all exposed to radiation to make sure they're clean and safe. When I think about this, I feel a kind of relief. Radiation isn't just dangerous. It's also useful. It's something we can control, something we can use to help people. Without radiation sterilization, we'd have more food poisoning, more infections from medical equipment, more diseases. Radiation is saving lives every day, in ways that are quiet and invisible. But we have to be careful. The same radiation that can sterilize food can also kill people if it's not controlled. The difference is how much we use, where we use it, and who's controlling it. In hospitals, radiation is a tool, something that doctors and scientists use carefully to help patients. But in accidents like Chernobyl, Goiânia, and Fukushima, radiation becomes a weapon, something that destroys instead of helping. It's all about control, and that's the lesson we have to remember. Radiation can be good, but it can also be terrible. It depends on us. In Goiânia, even the trash had to be taken to a special place and buried. This is one of the most extreme parts of the Goiânia accident that shows how serious the contamination was. After the cesium-137 was found and the accident was discovered, authorities had to clean up everything. But it wasn't just about cleaning the house. They had to clean the entire area. The trash from the contaminated houses, the clothes, the furniture, the dirt from the ground, even the water from the well. All of it had to be removed. And it couldn't just be thrown in a normal ladzitan. It had to be taken to a special place, a radioactive waste facility, and buried in a secure location where it wouldn't contaminate anyone else. Imagine this: entire bags of trash, full of things that families used every day, had to be treated as dangerous waste. Toys, clothes, plates, books, everything that had touched the cesium had to be removed and buried. More than 500 tons of contaminated material were collected and buried in a special place in Goiânia. When I think about this, I feel a deep sadness. All these things, all these normal, everyday objects became poison. They became something that humans couldn't touch, couldn't use, couldn't keep. They had to be buried, hidden away, like they were dangerous secrets. The people who lost their homes in Goiânia had to leave behind everything they owned. Their furniture, their clothes, their memories. All of it had to be thrown away because it was contaminated. This is one of the most heartbreaking parts of nuclear accidents. You don't just lose your life, you lose your possessions, your history, your home. Everything becomes poison. The trash from Goiânia is still buried there, 40 years later, still radioactive, still dangerous. It's a monument to what happened, a reminder that some things can never be cleaned, never be fixed, never be returned to normal. In Japan, children had blood tests to see if they had radiation in their bodies. This is one of the most sad and worrying parts of the Fukushima accident that shows how much radiation affects the most vulnerable people. Children. After the nuclear plant exploded in 2011, scientists and doctors were worried about the children living near Fukushima. Children are more sensitive to radiation than adults because their bodies are still growing, their cells are dividing faster, and their DNA is more easily damaged. So they started doing blood tests on thousands of children to check if they had radioactive particles inside them. These tests weren't just about checking for cancer. They were about checking for radiation itself, for the radioactive particles that might have entered their bodies through air, water, or food. When I think about children, little kids, having to go through blood tests because of radiation, I feel a deep pain. They didn't do anything wrong. They were just living their lives, going to school, playing with friends, eating food. But because of an accident that happened far away, they had to be tested. They had to be watched. They had to worry about whether they were safe. Some of the children did have radiation in their bodies. Some had to be treated, some had to leave their homes, and some are still being monitored years later. This is what happens when radiation contaminates an area. It doesn't just hurt adults. It hurts children. It hurts the most innocent people. The blood tests in Fukushima are a reminder that nuclear accidents don't just affect the people who are closest to the plant. They affect everyone, especially the youngest and most vulnerable. And those children, the ones who had blood tests, will carry the memory of that for their entire lives. They'll always wonder, always worry, always ask if they're safe. And that's one of the most terrible consequences of radiation. It doesn't just hurt your body. It hurts your mind, your peace, your future. In Chernobyl, radiation killed an entire forest of pine trees. They turned red and died. This is one of the most visual and haunting images from the Chernobyl accident. Right after the reactor exploded in 1986, the radiation that was released was so intense that it destroyed everything in its path. A forest of pine trees, just a few kilometers from the reactor, was hit by such massive amounts of radiation that the trees couldn't survive. They didn't just die quietly. They turned red, like they were burning, like they were bleeding. The needles on the pine trees changed from green to red, and within weeks, the entire forest was dead. Scientists call this area the Red Forest, and it's still there today, 40 years later, a graveyard of trees that died because of radiation. When I imagine walking through that forest, I feel a deep sadness. Trees are supposed to be strong, supposed to live for decades, supposed to give us life. But at Chernobyl, radiation turned them into something dead, something broken. The red forest is one of the most visible signs of what radiation can do. It doesn't just hurt humans. It hurts plants, animals, the entire ecosystem. The trees didn't have a chance. They couldn't escape, they couldn't hide, they couldn't protect themselves. The radiation just came, and it killed them. And they're still dead, 40 years later. The Red Forest is a monument to what happened at Chernobyl, a reminder that some things never recover. Some damage is permanent. Some places become too dangerous for life itself. And that forest, that red graveyard of trees, is one of those places. It's still there, waiting, showing us what radiation can do when it's too strong. The cesium from Goiânia was found in a trash dump. Nobody knew it was radioactive. This is one of the most terrifying parts of the Goiânia accident because it shows how easily radiation can hide in places we think are safe. The cesium-137 was part of a radiotherapy machine that was used to treat cancer patients at a hospital in Goiânia. But when the hospital stopped using that machine, they didn't dispose of it properly. They just threw it away, like it was normal trash. They put it in a dump, where scavengers look for things to sell or reuse. Nobody told the scavengers that it was radioactive. Nobody marked it as dangerous. Nobody did anything to protect people from it. So 2 scavengers found it, opened it, saw the beautiful blue glow, and took it home. They thought it was valuable. They thought it was something good. But it was death. When I think about this, I feel so angry. This was a hospital, a place that's supposed to help people, supposed to save lives. But they threw away a radioactive machine like it was nothing. They didn't care about the people who might find it. They didn't care about the children who might play with it. They just threw it away, and that decision killed 4 people and contaminated 249 others. This is one of the most important lessons about radiation. It's not just about the accident itself. It's about how we handle it, how we dispose of it, how we protect people from it. If that machine had been disposed of properly, if someone had marked it as dangerous, if someone had told the scavengers what it was, none of this would have happened. But nobody did, and because of that, a family died. A neighborhood was contaminated, and Brazil had its worst nuclear accident. The cesium in the trash dump is a reminder that radiation can hide anywhere, and we have to be careful always. In Fukushima, robots had to enter the reactor because humans couldn't. The radiation was too strong. This is one of the most modern and scary parts of the Fukushima accident that shows how dangerous the radiation was. After the reactors exploded in 2011, scientists and engineers knew they had to fix them, clean them, and make them safe. But when they tried to go near the reactors, they found that the radiation was so intense that humans couldn't survive there. The radiation was so strong that it would kill anyone who went close, even with protection. So they had to use robots. Robots that could go into the reactor, take pictures, collect samples, and do the work that humans couldn't do. These robots weren't normal robots. They were special, built to handle radiation, built to survive in places where humans would die. But even the robots had problems. Some of them broke down because the radiation was too strong. It messed with their electronics. It stopped them from working. When I think about this, I feel a deep fear. If humans can't go there, if robots break down, what does that mean? It means the radiation is so powerful that nothing can survive there. It means the reactor is still a death trap. 16 years after the accident, the robots at Fukushima are a reminder that some places are too dangerous for humans. Some accidents are so bad that we can't even fix them. We have to use machines, we have to stay far away, we have to watch from a distance. And even then, the radiation is so strong that it can break the machines too. The robots at Fukushima are working, but they're struggling. They're fighting against radiation that's too strong, and sometimes they lose. That's the truth of Fukushima. It's still dangerous, still uncontrollable, still a place where humans can't go. Astronauts on the moon would receive dangerous doses of cosmic radiation without protection. This is one of the most interesting facts about radiation that shows how it's not just a problem on Earth. It's a problem everywhere, even in space. Cosmic radiation is radiation that comes from outer space, from the sun, from other stars, from explosive events in the universe. It's always there, always traveling through space, and it's always heading toward Earth. But on Earth, we're protected. We have the atmosphere. We have the magnetic field. We have layers of air and rock that block most of this radiation. But on the moon, there's no atmosphere. There's no protection. So if an astronaut goes to the moon without special protection, they'll be exposed to cosmic radiation that's so strong it can damage their DNA, cause cancer, and even kill them. Scientists have calculated that astronauts on the moon would receive doses of radiation that are hundreds of times higher than what's safe for humans on Earth. This is one of the biggest challenges for space travel. If we want to go to the moon, to Mars, to other planets, we have to protect astronauts from radiation. We have to build ships with thick walls. We have to create shields. We have to find ways to block cosmic radiation. When I think about this, I feel a kind of awe. Space is beautiful, it's amazing, it's full of wonders. But it's also dangerous. It's full of radiation that can kill us. The astronauts who go to space are brave, but they're also at risk. Every time they leave Earth, they're entering a place where radiation is everywhere, where there's no protection, where they have to fight against something invisible and deadly. Cosmic radiation is a reminder that the universe is not just beautiful. It's also dangerous. And if we want to explore it, we have to be careful, we have to be protected, we have to understand the risks. In Goiânia, the cesium contaminated up to 3 meters of street ground. Machines removed all the earth. This is one of the most extreme parts of the Goiânia accident that shows how deep the contamination went. When the cesium-137 was found and the accident was discovered, authorities had to clean up the area. But it wasn't just about cleaning the houses. The contamination had spread to the street, to the ground, to the earth itself. The cesium had leaked into the soil, and it went down as deep as 3 meters. That's not just a little bit. That's like the height of a tall person, buried underground. So they had to use machines to remove all that earth. Huge excavators, trucks, everything they could use to take away the contaminated soil. More than 500 tons of earth were removed from the area and taken to a special place where radioactive waste is buried. When I think about this, I feel a deep sadness. The ground, the earth that we walk on every day, the soil that grows plants, became poison. It became something that humans couldn't touch, couldn't use, couldn't keep. They had to remove it, dig it up, and bury it somewhere else. The street in Goiânia where the cesium was found had to be completely rebuilt. 3 meters of earth were gone, replaced with new, clean soil. But the old soil, the contaminated soil, is still buried somewhere, still radioactive, still dangerous. It's still there, 40 years later, waiting. This is what happens when radiation contaminates an area. It doesn't just stay on the surface. It goes deep, it spreads, it becomes part of the Earth itself. The machines that removed the Earth in Goiânia are a reminder that some accidents are so bad that you have to destroy the land itself to fix them. You have to dig, you have to remove, you have to bury. And even then, the radiation is still there, still waiting, still dangerous. In Chernobyl, the reactor was covered by a concrete sarcophagus. It looks like a giant tomb. This is one of the most iconic and haunting images from the Chernobyl accident. After the reactor exploded in 1986, the radiation was so strong that humans couldn't go near it. The core was still burning, still releasing massive amounts of radiation, and there was no way to stop it. So they had to build something to contain it, something to block the radiation and keep it trapped inside. They built a massive structure made of concrete and steel, called the sarcophagus, and they covered the entire reactor with it. It looks like a giant tomb, like a monument to death. The sarcophagus is huge. It's as big as a football stadium, and it's so thick that it blocks most of the radiation from escaping. But even with the sarcophagus, the radiation is still there, still inside, still dangerous. 40 years later, the sarcophagus is still standing, still covering the reactor, still keeping the radiation trapped. But it's not perfect. It's cracking, it's breaking. And scientists are worried that it might fail someday. So they're building a new structure, even bigger, even stronger, to replace the old sarcophagus. When I think about this, I feel a deep sense of sadness. The sarcophagus at Chernobyl is like a tomb for a reactor that killed people, contaminated the land, and changed the world. It's a monument to what happens when we lose control, when we make mistakes that we can't fix. The reactor is still there, underneath the concrete, still burning, still dangerous. And the sarcophagus is still there, covering it, hiding it, keeping it away from us. But it's not a solution, it's just a delay. The radiation is still there, and one day, it might escape again. The sarcophagus at Chernobyl is a reminder that some mistakes are permanent. Some accidents can't be fixed. We can only hide them, bury them, wait for them to fade. And even then, they're still there, waiting. 160,000 people had to leave their homes in Fukushima after the accident. This is one of the most heartbreaking parts of the Fukushima accident that shows how many people were affected. When the earthquake and tsunami hit Japan in 2011, they destroyed the nuclear power plant, and the reactors exploded. The radiation that was released was so strong that it contaminated a huge area, and thousands of people had to leave their homes. In total, 160,000 people were evacuated from the areas near Fukushima. They had to pack their belongings, leave their houses, leave their neighborhoods, and go somewhere else. Some went to other cities, some went to other towns, some went to live with family, but they couldn't go back. The radiation was still there, still dangerous, still contaminating the air, the water, the soil. Many of these people lost everything. Their homes, their jobs, their communities. They had to start their lives from scratch, somewhere new, somewhere safe. But they never forgot Fukushima. They never forgot the homes they left behind, the lives they had before the accident. When I think about 160,000 people, I can't imagine how many lives were changed. 160,000 families, 160,000 stories. 160,000 people who had to leave everything behind because of radiation. Some of them are still away 16 years later. Some have been allowed to return, but the radiation is still there, still in the soil, still in the houses. They can go back, but they're not safe. They're still watching, still testing, still worrying. The evacuation of Fukushima is one of the biggest displacements in modern history. It's a reminder that nuclear accidents don't just hurt people directly. They hurt communities, they destroy neighborhoods, they force people to leave their homes forever. And 160,000 people is not just a number. It's 160,000 lives, 160,000 stories, 160,000 people who had to lose everything because of radiation. The city of Pripyat near Chernobyl became empty. Now it's a ghost city. This is one of the most haunting images from the Chernobyl accident. Pripyat was the city built for the workers of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. It was a normal city with schools, parks, stores, apartments, and families. People lived there, kids went to school, families went to the park, life was normal. But when the reactor exploded in 1986, everything changed. The radiation was so strong that everyone had to leave. In just 2 days, 48,000 people were evacuated from Pripyat. They packed their belongings. They left their homes, and they never came back. The city became empty. The apartments are still there, but no one lives in them. The schools are still there, but no kids go to class. The parks are still there, but no children play. Pripyat is a ghost city, a city that was frozen in time 40 years ago. When I imagine walking through Pripyat today, I feel a deep sadness. The buildings are still standing, but they're empty. The streets are still there, but no cars drive on them. The park has an abandoned Ferris wheel, rusting, broken, waiting for children who never come back. Pripyat is a monument to what happened at Chernobyl. It's a reminder that some places become too dangerous for humans. Some accidents are so bad that cities have to be abandoned forever. The ghost city of Pripyat is one of the most haunting places on Earth. It's still there, 40 years later, still empty, still waiting, and it will probably stay that way for a long time. The radiation is still there, still in the soil, still in the buildings, and humans can't go back. In Goiânia, 249 people were contaminated. Most were children and adults. This is one of the most shocking numbers from the Goiânia accident that shows how many people were affected. When the cesium-137 was found and the accident was discovered, authorities had to check everyone who might have been exposed. They tested people from the house where the cesium was found, from the neighborhood, from the schools, from the hospitals. In total, 249 people were contaminated with radiation. Most of them were children and adults. Normal people, living normal lives, who never knew they were being exposed to radiation. The children were especially vulnerable because their bodies are still growing. Their cells are dividing faster, and radiation hurts them more. Some of the contaminated people got sick, some got cancer, and 4 of them died. But 249 people is not just a number. It's 249 lives, 249 families, 249 people who had to deal with radiation in their bodies. Some had to go to the hospital for treatment. Some had to leave their homes. Some had to live with the fear that radiation might hurt them later. And even 40 years later, some of them are still being monitored, still being checked, still worrying about the radiation that's inside them. When I think about 249 people, I can't imagine how many lives were changed. 249 children who grew up with radiation in their bodies. 249 adults who had to deal with cancer, with sickness, with fear. 249 families who had to live with the knowledge that their home was poisoned. The contamination of 249 people in Goiânia is one of the biggest nuclear accidents in Brazil's history. It's a reminder that radiation doesn't just kill the people closest to the accident. It spreads, it contaminates, it hurts everyone. And 249 people is a lot. It's a community, it's a neighborhood, it's a group of people who had to suffer because of a mistake. 4 people died in Goiânia just from touching the glowing blue material. This is the most tragic part of the Goiânia accident, the part that shows how deadly radiation can be. 4 people died from the cesium-137 contamination. They were members of the same family. The 2 scavengers who found the cesium and 2 of their family members. They touched the blue glowing material. They held it, they played with it, and they didn't know it was killing them. The radiation from the cesium was so strong that it destroyed their bodies from the inside. Their organs failed, their skin burned, their DNA was damaged, and within weeks, they died. 4 people. 4 lives lost because they touched something that looked beautiful but was actually poison. When I think about this, I feel a deep anger and a deep sadness. These people didn't do anything wrong. They were just curious, just human, just trying to understand something that looked magical. But that magic was hiding death. The blue glow of the cesium attracted them. and that attraction killed them. 4 people died in Naya, and 249 others were contaminated. But the 4 who died are the most heartbreaking part. They're the ones who lost their lives, who couldn't fight back, who couldn't survive. Their names are Filippo Borges, Maria Ferreira, Gaetano Ferreira, and Essidentina Ferreira. They're not just numbers, they're people. They had families, they had lives, they had dreams. And radiation took all of that away. The 4 deaths in Goiânia are a reminder that radiation is not just dangerous. It's deadly. It kills people, it destroys families, it takes lives. And sometimes, it kills just from touching something that looks beautiful. Gamma radiation passes through your entire body like you were made of glass. This is one of the most terrifying facts about radiation that shows how powerful and invisible it is. Gamma radiation is a type of radiation that's so strong, so energetic, that it doesn't stop when it hits your skin. It goes through you like you're not even there. Imagine standing in front of a beam of gamma radiation. It would pass through your arms, your chest, your head, your legs, like you were made of transparent glass. You couldn't see it, you couldn't feel it, you couldn't stop it. It just goes through you, and while it's passing through, it's damaging your cells, breaking your DNA, hurting your body from the inside. This is why gamma radiation is so dangerous. Other types of radiation, like alpha or beta, can be blocked by clothing or skin. But gamma, nothing short of thick lead or massive concrete walls can stop it. When I think about gamma radiation passing through my body like I'm glass, I feel a deep fear. It's invisible, it's silent, and it's inside me, hurting me, and I can't do anything about it. This is what makes radiation so scary. You don't know it's there, you don't feel it, and it's already damaging you. Gamma radiation is one of the most powerful types of radiation we know, and it's the kind that was released in massive amounts at Chernobyl, Goiânia, and Fukushima. It's the kind that kills people, contaminates land, and stays dangerous for decades. And the worst part is, you can't see it. You can't feel it. You just know it's there, and it's passing through you like you're made of glass. The sun sends us radiation every day. Without it, we wouldn't have light or heat. This is one of the most important and positive facts about radiation that shows it's not always dangerous. The sun is the biggest source of radiation we receive every day, and it's the reason we can live. The sun sends us light, heat, and energy in the form of radiation. Without that radiation, Earth would be frozen dark and dead. There would be no plants, no animals, no humans. The radiation from the sun is what makes life possible. It's what allows plants to grow through photosynthesis, what keeps our bodies warm, what gives us the light we need to see. When I think about this, I feel a kind of gratitude. Radiation isn't just about accidents and death. It's also about life, about energy, about the sun that shines every day. The radiation from the sun is safe because it's controlled, because it's steady, because Earth has protection. The atmosphere blocks the dangerous parts, and the magnetic field keeps the worst radiation away. So we get the good radiation, the light, the heat, the energy, and we don't get the bad radiation that would kill us. But we have to be careful. Even the sun's radiation can be dangerous if we're not protected. That's why we wear sunscreen, why we use sunglasses, why we don't stay in the sun for too long without protection. The sun's radiation is good, but it can also hurt us if we're not careful. And that's the lesson we have to remember. Radiation isn't always bad. Sometimes it's what keeps us alive. X-rays use radiation to show your bones without cutting your skin. This is one of the most useful and common uses of radiation that most people experience at some point in their lives. When you go to the doctor and they need to see if you broke a bone, they take an X-ray. The X-rays are a type of radiation that can pass through your skin and your muscles, but they can't pass through your bones. So when the X-ray goes through you, it hits a special film or detector on the other side, and your bones show up as white shapes on the film. The rest of your body, the skin and muscles, shows up as dark because the X-ray passed through them. This is how doctors can see your bones without cutting you, without opening your body, without doing anything painful. It's quick, it's safe, and it saves lives. When I think about X-rays, I feel a kind of relief. Radiation isn't just about accidents and death. It's also about helping people, about saving lives, about making medicine better. Their X-rays are used millions of times every day in hospitals around the world. They help doctors diagnose broken bones, find cancers, check for problems inside the body. And the radiation used in X-rays is controlled. It's small, it's safe. It's not like the radiation from Chernobyl or Fukushima. It's radiation that's used carefully for a good purpose to help people. X-rays are one of the best examples of how radiation can be a tool, how it can be used to save lives, how it can be something good. But we have to remember that even X-rays have radiation, and too much can be dangerous. Doctors use them carefully, they don't use them too often, and they protect patients from getting too much radiation. X-rays are a reminder that radiation can be good, but it has to be controlled. Ultraviolet radiation from the sun can burn your skin like a fire burn. This is one of the most common and dangerous facts about radiation that most people experience but don't always understand. The sun sends us ultraviolet radiation, also called UV radiation, and it's the kind that burns our skin. When you stay in the sun for too long without protection, your skin turns red, it hurts, it feels hot, and that's because UV radiation is damaging your skin cells. It's like a burn, like you touched something hot. But it's from radiation, not from fire. This is why we use sunscreen, why we wear hats, why we don't stay in the sun for too long. UV radiation is everywhere, every day, and it's always hurting our skin if we're not protected. When I think about UV radiation, I feel a kind of warning. The sun is beautiful, it's warm, it's life-giving, but it's also dangerous. The radiation it sends can burn you, can hurt you, can even cause cancer if you're not careful. UV radiation is the most common type of radiation that hurts people, and it's the one we encounter every day. It's not like Chernobyl or Fukushima. It's not a big accident. It's just the sun shining and your skin getting burned. But it's still radiation, and it's still dangerous. That's why we have to protect ourselves. We have to use sunscreen. We have to wear clothes. We have to stay in the shade when the sun is too strong. UV radiation is a reminder that radiation is everywhere, and we have to be careful. Even with the things we think are normal, like the sun. In Fukushima, more than 16 years later, some areas still have radiation and nobody can return. This is one of the most sad and permanent facts about the Fukushima accident that shows how long radiation stays dangerous. The accident happened in 2011, and it's been more than 16 years since then. But some areas near the nuclear power plant still have so much radiation that people can't go back. The radiation is still in the soil, still in the houses, still in the trees, still in the water. It's been 16 years, and it's still not safe. Some people have been allowed to return to their homes, but they have to be careful. They have to check the radiation levels. They have to avoid certain areas. They have to wear protection. But other areas are still completely forbidden. Nobody can go there. The radiation is too strong, and it will be for a long time. When I think about this, I feel a deep sadness. These are people's homes, their neighborhoods, their communities. But they can't go back. The radiation is still there, still dangerous, still waiting. And it might stay that way for decades. Radiation doesn't just go away. It stays, it lingers, it waits. And in Fukushima, some areas will probably be forbidden for 30, 40, 50 years. Maybe longer. The people who lived there had to leave. And they might never come back. Their homes are still there, but they're poisoned. Their streets are still there, but they're dangerous. Their lives are still there, but they're elsewhere. The forbidden areas of Fukushima are a reminder that some accidents are permanent. Some places become too dangerous to ever return to. And the people who lost their homes in Fukushima will carry that memory for their entire lives. In Chernobyl, animals live in the zone without humans. Wolves, deer, and horses. This is one of the most surprising and quiet facts about Chernobyl that shows how life can recover even in the most dangerous places. After the accident in 1986, humans left the area. The city of Pripyat became empty, the villages were abandoned, and the nuclear power plant was closed. But the animals didn't leave. Wolves, deer, horses, birds, and many other animals came back to the Chernobyl zone. And they've been living there for 40 years without humans. The radiation is still there, still dangerous, but the animals have adapted. They've learned to live with it, to survive in a place that's too dangerous for people. Scientists have studied the animals in Chernobyl, and they've found something strange. Some of them are healthy, they're growing, they're living normal lives. But some of them have problems. Their bodies are changed, their DNA is damaged. And some are smaller or weaker than animals in normal places. It's like the radiation is hurting them, but they're still surviving. When I think about this, I feel a mix of hope and sadness. Hope, because life is strong, because animals can adapt, because nature can recover even after the worst accidents. But sadness, because these animals are living in a place that's poisoned, that's dangerous, that humans can't go to. The animals of Chernobyl are living in a graveyard, in a place that killed people, contaminated the land, and changed the world. But they're still there, still alive, still surviving. The wolves, the deer, the horses, they're the new owners of Chernobyl. Humans left, but they came back. And they're living in a place that's still dangerous, still radioactive, still forbidden. The animals of Chernobyl are a reminder that life is strong, but they're also a reminder that some mistakes are permanent. Some places become too dangerous for humans, but animals can still live there. And that's both beautiful and sad. Cesium-137 was used to treat cancer before the accident in Goiânia. This is one of the most important and hopeful facts about radiation that shows it can be used to save lives, not just kill them. Before the accident in Goiânia in 1987, the Cesium-137 was part of a radiotherapy machine at a hospital. Radiotherapy is a treatment that uses radiation to kill cancer cells. Doctors use it to treat people who have cancer, to shrink tumors, to stop the cancer from growing. The Cesium-137 was inside that machine, and it was helping people, saving lives, giving hope to patients who were sick. When I think about this, I feel a deep contrast. The same cesium that was used to save lives became the thing that killed people. The same radiation that was healing became the thing that poisoned. This is the tragedy of Goiânia. Something that was meant to help became something that destroyed. The Cesium-137 was in the hospital, where it should have stayed. It was being used carefully, controlled by doctors, protecting patients. But when the hospital threw it away, when they didn't dispose of it properly, it became a death trap. It became something that scavengers found, something that children played with, something that killed 4 people and contaminated 249 others. The cesium that treated cancer became the cesium that killed families. This is one of the most important lessons about radiation. It's not just dangerous, it's also useful. It can save lives, it can heal, it can help, but it has to be controlled. It has to be handled carefully. It has to be disposed of properly. When radiation is used correctly, it's a tool, it's a medicine, it's a way to save lives. But when it's not controlled, when it's thrown away, when it's left in the wrong place, it becomes a weapon. It becomes poison. The Cesium-137 from Goiânia is a reminder that radiation can be good, but it can also be terrible. It depends on us. Radiation has no color, smell, or taste. You can't feel that you're near it. This is one of the most terrifying facts about radiation that shows why it's so dangerous. Radiation is invisible. You can't see it, you can't smell it, you can't taste it, you can't feel it. It's just there, around you, inside you, hurting you, and you don't know. This is what makes radiation so scary. If something is dangerous, you usually know. If there's fire, you see it, you feel the heat. If there's poison, you taste it, you smell it. But radiation, you don't know it's there. You're standing in a place with deadly radiation, and you feel nothing. You're breathing air with radioactive particles, and you don't know. You're touching something that's killing you, and you don't feel it. When I think about this, I feel a deep fear. Radiation is like a ghost. It's invisible, it's silent, and it's hurting you, and you don't know. This is why we need special equipment to detect radiation. We need machines, meters, detectors that can tell us if radiation is there. Without those machines, we're blind. We're walking into danger, and we don't know. This is what happened in Goiânia. The scavengers found the cesium. They saw the blue glow, and they thought it was beautiful. But they couldn't feel the radiation. They couldn't smell it. They couldn't know it was killing them. They just touched it, held it, played with it, and died. This is what happened at Chernobyl. The workers stood near the reactor, and they didn't know the radiation was so strong that it would kill them in weeks. They couldn't feel it. They couldn't know. And this is what happened in Fukushima. The people lived near the plant, and they didn't know the radiation was in the air, in the water, in the food. They couldn't feel it. They couldn't know. Radiation has no color, no smell, no taste. It's invisible, and that's what makes it so dangerous. You can't protect yourself from something you can't see. Children are more sensitive to radiation. Their bodies grow fast. This is one of the most sad and important facts about radiation that shows how it hurts the most vulnerable people. Children are different from adults. Their bodies are still growing, their cells are dividing faster, their DNA is still being formed, and radiation hurts growing cells more than it hurts adult cells. When radiation hits a child's body, it damages the cells that are trying to grow, the cells that are trying to become new parts of the body. This is why children are more sensitive to radiation. They're more likely to get cancer, more likely to get sick, more likely to die from radiation exposure. This is what happened in Goiânia. Children were among the 249 people who were contaminated. Some of them got sick, some got cancer, and some are still being monitored today. This is what happened in Fukushima. Children were among the 160,000 people who had to leave their homes. They had to go to blood tests. They had to be checked for radiation. They had to worry about whether they were safe. And some of them still are 16 years later. When I think about children and radiation, I feel a deep pain. Children are innocent. They didn't do anything wrong. They're just kids, growing, learning, playing. But radiation hurts them more than it hurts adults. It's like they're more vulnerable, more fragile, more easy to break. This is why we have to protect children from radiation. We have to make sure they don't get exposed. We have to make sure they're safe. We have to make sure they're not in places where radiation is dangerous. Children are the most vulnerable, and radiation hurts them the most. This is one of the most important lessons we have to remember. Radiation meters show if there's dangerous radiation. Like an alarm. This is one of the most useful and practical facts about radiation that shows how we protect ourselves from it. Radiation meters are special machines that detect radiation and tell us if it's there. They're like alarms, like detectors, like warning systems. When you bring a radiation meter close to something that has radiation, it shows a number. If the number is high, it means there's dangerous radiation. If the number is low, it means it's safe. Some radiation meters make sounds like alarms when they detect radiation. The louder the sound, the stronger the radiation. This is how scientists and workers protect themselves from radiation. They carry radiation meters, they check the air, they check the ground, they check everything, and they know when it's safe and when it's not. When I think about radiation meters, I feel a kind of relief. We have tools to protect ourselves. We have machines that can tell us if radiation is there, if it's dangerous, if we need to leave. Without radiation meters, we'd be blind, We'd walk into dangerous places, and we wouldn't know. We'd touch radioactive things, and we wouldn't feel it. We'd breathe the radioactive air, and we wouldn't know. But with radiation meters, we have a warning. We have a tool that tells us when to stop, when to leave, when to protect ourselves. Radiation meters were used in Goiânia to find the cesium. They were used in Chernobyl to measure the radiation around the reactor. They were used in Fukushima to check the areas where people lived. And they're still used today, 40 years later, to make sure people are safe. Radiation meters are a reminder that we can protect ourselves from radiation. We have tools, we have machines, we have warnings. But we have to use them. We have to carry them, we have to check them, we have to listen to them. Because radiation is invisible, and without meters, we're blind. Alpha radiation is weak and doesn't enter your skin. This is one of the simpler facts about radiation that shows not all radiation is equally dangerous. Alpha radiation is a type of radiation that's made of heavy particles, and it's the weakest type we know. It's so weak that it can't even pass through your skin. If alpha radiation hits your body, it just stops at the surface of your skin. It doesn't go inside, it doesn't hurt your organs, it doesn't damage your cells. You could be standing near something that emits alpha radiation, and you'd be fine. Your skin is thick enough to block it. But there's a catch. Alpha radiation is dangerous if you swallow it, if you breathe it in, if it gets inside your body. Once it's inside, there's no skin to protect you. It's right next to your cells, your organs, your DNA, and then it can hurt you. This is why alpha radiation is both weak and dangerous. Outside your body, it's safe. Inside your body, it's toxic. When I think about alpha radiation, I feel a kind of understanding. Not all radiation is the same. Some is strong, some is weak. Some can kill you instantly, some just makes you sick. Alpha radiation is the weakest, but it's still something we have to be careful about. We have to make sure we don't swallow it, we don't breathe it in, we don't let it get inside us. Outside, it's fine. Inside, it's dangerous. And that's the lesson. Beta radiation is stronger and can enter your skin a little. This is one of the facts that shows radiation has different levels of danger. Beta radiation is stronger than alpha radiation. It's made of lighter particles, and it can penetrate your skin a little bit. It doesn't go through your entire body like gamma radiation, but it can go deeper than alpha. It can reach the layers of your skin, the cells underneath, and it can hurt them. If you're exposed to beta radiation for a long time, your skin can get burned, it can get red, it can get sore. It's like a mild burn, but from radiation, not from heat. Beta radiation is more dangerous than alpha, but it's still not as dangerous as gamma. It can be blocked by clothing, by plastic, by thin layers of metal. But it's still something we have to be careful about. When I think about beta radiation, I feel a kind of middle ground. It's not the weakest, and it's not the strongest. It's in between. It can hurt you, but it's not going to kill you instantly. It's the kind of radiation that makes your skin sick, that makes you feel uncomfortable, that you have to protect yourself from. Beta radiation is a reminder that radiation has levels. Some is weak, some is strong. Some just touches your skin, some goes through your entire body. And we have to know the difference, so we can protect ourselves correctly. Lead is the best material to block gamma radiation. This is one of the most important facts about how we protect ourselves from the strongest type of radiation. Gamma radiation is so powerful that it can pass through almost anything. It goes through skin, through clothes, through wood, through concrete. But there's one material that can block it: lead. Lead is a heavy, dense metal, and it's so thick that gamma radiation can't pass through it. When gamma rays hit lead, they stop. They're absorbed, they're blocked, they don't go through. This is why hospitals use lead for X-ray rooms. The walls have lead inside them, and the doctors wear lead jackets when they take X-rays. This is why nuclear workers wear protective gear with lead. This is why storage containers for radioactive material are made of lead. Lead is the best shield against gamma radiation. When I think about lead, I feel a kind of respect. It's a simple metal, but it's so powerful when it comes to protecting us from radiation. It's heavy, it's dense, it's strong. And it's the only thing that can stop gamma rays. Without lead, we wouldn't be able to do X-rays safely. We wouldn't be able to work with radioactive material. We wouldn't be able to protect ourselves from the strongest radiation. Lead is a reminder that even though radiation is dangerous, we have tools to protect ourselves. We have materials, we have shields, we have ways to block it. And lead is the best one. Thick concrete walls help block strong radiation. This is one of the facts that shows how we build protection against radiation in real life. Concrete is a common material, something we use to build houses, roads, bridges. But concrete can also block radiation, especially when it's thick. When radiation hits concrete, it gets absorbed. The thicker the concrete, the more radiation it can block. This is why nuclear power plants have thick concrete walls. The walls are meters thick, and they're designed to keep radiation inside, to stop it from escaping into the environment. This is also why the sarcophagus at Chernobyl was made of concrete. They built a massive concrete structure to cover the reactor and stop the radiation from spreading. Concrete is not as good as lead for blocking gamma radiation, but it's cheaper, it's easier to build with, and it's still very effective. When I think about concrete walls blocking radiation, I feel a kind of security. We have ways to protect ourselves. We can build walls, we can make shields, we can create barriers that stop radiation. Concrete is a simple material, but it's powerful when it comes to safety. It's thick, it's strong, it's durable. And it's what we use to keep radiation contained, to keep people safe. Thick concrete walls are a reminder that even though radiation is dangerous, we can build protection. We can create barriers, we can make safe places. We can stop radiation from hurting us. Bananas have very weak natural radiation, but it doesn't hurt you. This is one of the most interesting and surprising facts about radiation that shows it's everywhere, even in our food. Bananas have a small amount of radioactive material inside them, naturally. It's called potassium-40, and it's a type of radiation that's found in many foods, not just bananas. But the radiation in bananas is so weak, so small, that it doesn't hurt you. You can eat bananas every day, and you won't get sick from the radiation. It's just a tiny amount, something that your body can handle easily. Scientists even use bananas as a way to measure radiation. They call it the banana equivalent dose, which is a fun way to say how much radiation something has compared to a banana. When I think about bananas having radiation, I feel a kind of amusement. It's weird, it's surprising, it's something you don't expect. Bananas are healthy. They're good for you, they're something we eat every day. And they have radiation. But it's not dangerous radiation. It's natural radiation, the kind that's everywhere, the kind that's part of life. Bananas are a reminder that radiation is not always bad. It's not always from accidents or nuclear plants. It's in nature, it's in food, it's in everything. And most of it is safe. Rocks and minerals have weak natural radiation from the ground, and this is something that's been there since the Earth was born. When you walk outside, when you touch a stone, when you see a mountain, you're near radiation. It's not the dangerous kind from Chernobyl or Goiânia or Fukushima. It's natural radiation, the kind that comes from the Earth itself. Inside rocks and minerals, there are tiny amounts of radioactive elements like uranium, thorium, and potassium-40. These elements have been releasing radiation slowly, quietly, for billions of years. They're not hurting anyone. They're just part of the planet, part of the ground, part of nature. Some types of rocks have more radiation than others. Granite, for example, has more radiation than sandstone. That's why some places have higher natural radiation levels. People who live in houses built with granite might receive a little more radiation than people who live near the ocean. But it's still safe. It's still natural. Your body can handle it easily. When I think about rocks having radiation, I feel a kind of connection to the Earth. Radiation is not just something humans created. It's not just from nuclear plants or accidents. It's from the planet itself, from the ground we walk on, from the stones we pick up. It's been there since the Earth formed, since the mountains were created, since the rocks were made. And it's still there, quietly releasing radiation, quietly being part of nature. Rocks and minerals are a reminder that radiation is everywhere. It's in the ground, in the stones, in the minerals under our feet. And most of it is safe. Most of it is natural. Most of it is just part of the world we live in. We don't have to fear it. We just have to understand it, respect it, and know that it's part of nature. Cosmic radiation comes from space and reaches Earth, and it's one of the most amazing facts about radiation. This radiation doesn't come from humans, from nuclear plants, from accidents. It comes from the universe itself. It comes from the sun, from stars, from explosive events that happen millions of light years away. Cosmic radiation is always traveling through space, always moving, always heading toward Earth. Some of it is from the sun, from solar storms, from the constant stream of particles that the sun releases. Some of it is from distant stars, from supernova, from black holes, from events that are so far away we can't even see them. But the radiation reaches us. It travels through space, through the darkness, through the void, and it hits our planet. Most of it is blocked by Earth's atmosphere. The air around us is like a shield, like a protective layer that absorbs the radiation before it reaches us. But some of it still gets through. Some of it reaches the ground, reaches us, reaches our bodies. And we don't even know it's happening. When I think about cosmic radiation, I feel a kind of wonder. We're living on a planet that's protected, that has layers of safety that keeps us from the dangerous radiation in space. But we're still connected to the universe. We're still receiving radiation from stars that are millions of light years away. We're still part of the cosmos, part of the universe, part of everything. Cosmic radiation is a reminder that we're not isolated. We're connected to the universe, to space, to the stars. And radiation is the link, the connection, the thing that brings the universe to us. High mountains have more radiation from space because we're closer to it. And this is one of the simple but interesting facts about how radiation changes depending on where you are. When you're at sea level, near the ocean, you have a thick layer of atmosphere above you. The air is dense, it's thick, and it blocks most of the cosmic radiation. But when you go to high mountains, when you climb up to the peaks, the air is thinner. The atmosphere is less thick, there's less protection, and more cosmic radiation reaches you. So people who live in high mountains receive more radiation than people who live near the ocean. It's not dangerous radiation. It's still natural, still safe, but it's more. This is why people who live in places like the Rockies in America, the Himalayas in Asia, or the Alps in Europe receive more radiation than people who live in coastal cities. It's just geography, just location, just how high you are. Mountains are closer to space, and space has radiation. So the higher you are, the more radiation you get. When I think about mountains having more radiation, I feel a kind of understanding. Radiation is not the same everywhere. It changes depending on where you are, how high you are, how much atmosphere is above you. High mountains are a reminder that radiation is part of our world, and it's different in different places. But it's still safe. It's still natural. It's still something we can live with. People who live in high mountains have adapted to it. Their bodies handle it. They don't get sick from it. It's just part of their life, part of their environment, part of where they live. And that's beautiful. It's a reminder that we can live with radiation, that we can adapt, that we can survive. Doctors use radiation to kill cancer cells and save lives, and this is one of the most hopeful and important facts about radiation. Radiation is not just dangerous. It's not just from accidents and death. It's also from healing, from saving lives, from helping people. Doctors use radiation in a treatment called radiotherapy, and it's one of the most powerful tools in modern medicine. When someone has cancer, doctors can focus radiation on the cancer cells. The radiation damages the cancer cells' DNA, it stops them from growing, it kills them. And because the radiation is focused, it doesn't hurt the healthy cells around it. It only targets the cancer. This is how radiotherapy works. It's used to treat many types of cancer: breast cancer, lung cancer, brain cancer, prostate cancer, and many more. Every day, in hospitals around the world, doctors use radiation to save lives. They give people hope, they give them a chance, they help them fight back against cancer. When I think about doctors using radiation to save lives, I feel a deep gratitude. Radiation is not just Chernobyl, Goiânia, and Fukushima. It's also hospitals, it's doctors, it's patients surviving. It's people getting better, people living, people not dying from cancer. Radiotherapy is a reminder that radiation can be good. It can heal, it can help, it can save. And it depends on us how we use it. When we use it carefully, when we control it, when we use it for good, it's a tool. It's a medicine. It's a way to save lives. Doctors using radiation to kill cancer is one of the best examples of how science can help people. It's how we turn something dangerous into something useful. It's how we use radiation not to destroy, but to heal. And that's beautiful. Fruits are irradiated to kill bacteria and last longer, and this is one of the practical and everyday facts about radiation that most people don't even know. When you buy fruits in the store, some of them have been irradiated. Irradiation means they're exposed to small amounts of radiation, and this radiation kills bacteria, viruses, and other harmful things on the fruit. It doesn't make the fruit radioactive. The fruit doesn't become dangerous. It just kills the bad stuff. The bacteria that make the fruit rot, the bacteria that can make you sick, the viruses that can cause disease, they're all killed by the radiation. This is why some fruits last longer in the store. They've been irradiated, so the bacteria that make them go bad are gone. This is also how some food is made safe to eat. Irradiation kills the harmful bacteria that can cause food poisoning. It's used for fruits, for vegetables, for meat, for spices, for many types of food. When you buy food that's irradiated, it's safe, it's clean, it's free from harmful bacteria, and it lasts longer. When I think about irradiated fruits, I feel a kind of curiosity. It's weird, it's surprising, it's something you don't expect. Fruits are natural, they're healthy, they're something we eat every day, and they're irradiated. But it's safe. The radiation is small, it's controlled, it's just for killing bacteria. Irradiated fruits are a reminder that radiation is used in many ways, not just for dangerous things. It's for helping, for protecting, for making food safer. It's for making fruits last longer, for keeping them fresh, for stopping bacteria. And it works. Irradiation is a simple process, but it's powerful. It kills bacteria without using chemicals, without using heat, without changing the fruit. It just uses radiation, small amounts, controlled, safe. And it makes food better, safer, longer, lasting. Irradiated fruits are a reminder that radiation can be good. It can help, it can protect, it can make life better. Space travelers need protection against radiation from space. And this is one of the most important facts about radiation that shows how dangerous it is outside Earth. When astronauts leave our planet, they leave the protection of Earth's atmosphere. The atmosphere is like a shield, like a protective blanket that blocks most of the radiation from space. But when you're in space, there's no atmosphere. There's no protection. You're exposed to cosmic radiation, radiation from the sun, radiation from explosive events in the universe. This radiation is dangerous. It can hurt astronauts' bodies, damage their DNA, make them sick, cause cancer, and even kill them. The radiation in space is much stronger than the radiation on Earth. It's everywhere, all the time, and there's no way to escape it. So astronauts need protection. Their ships have special shields, thick walls, materials that block radiation. Some ships use layers of water. Some use special metals, some use plastic that's designed to stop radiation. The astronauts also wear protective suits when they go outside the ship. They have to be careful, they have to plan their trips, they have to make sure they're safe. When I think about space travelers and radiation, I feel a kind of respect and a kind of fear. Space is beautiful, it's amazing, it's full of wonders. It's where we want to go, where we want to explore, where we want to discover new things. But it's also dangerous. It's full of radiation that can hurt us, that can kill us, that can destroy our bodies. Astronauts are brave, but they're also at risk. Every time they leave Earth, they're entering a place where radiation is everywhere, where there's no protection, where they have to fight against something invisible and deadly. Space travelers need protection is a reminder that radiation is not just a problem on Earth. It's a problem everywhere, even in space, even on the Moon, even on Mars. And if we want to explore the universe, if we want to go to other planets, if we want to become a space civilization, we have to be careful, we have to be protected, we have to understand the risks. We have to build better ships, better shields, better protection. We have to find ways to block radiation, to stop it, to keep astronauts safe. Because space is dangerous, and radiation is one of the biggest threats. In Goiânia, the place was cleaned and now it's safe to return, and this is one of the most hopeful facts about the Goiânia accident that shows recovery is possible. After the accident in 1987, the area was contaminated with cesium-137. The houses where the scavengers lived, the streets where they walked, the soil where the cesium was found. Everything was poisoned. The radiation was everywhere in the air, in the water, in the ground. People couldn't live there. They couldn't touch anything. They couldn't use their homes. The entire neighborhood was forbidden. But authorities didn't just leave it like that. They cleaned it up. They removed the contaminated soil 3 meters deep and took it away. They demolished the contaminated houses, and they buried all the radioactive waste in a special place. They cleaned the streets, they cleaned the ground, they made sure the radiation was gone. And today, 40 years later, the place is safe. People can return, they can live there again, they can use the land, they can build new houses, they can start new lives. The accident happened, but it was fixed. The radiation was contained, the area was cleaned, and now it's safe. When I think about Goiânia being cleaned, I feel a kind of hope. Accidents happen, mistakes are made, things go wrong. But we can fix them. We can clean, we can remove, we can make safe again. Goiânia is a reminder that even after the worst accidents, recovery is possible. The place was poisoned, but it's not anymore. The radiation was there, but it's contained, and people can live there again. The families who lost their homes, who had to leave, who had to start somewhere else. Some of them have returned. Some of them are living there again, in a place that's safe, in a place that's clean, in a place that's not poisoned anymore. Goiânia is a story of recovery, of hope, of healing. It's a reminder that we can fix our mistakes, we can clean our contamination, we can make things safe again. And that's beautiful. Japan monitors the sea and food for radiation in Fukushima. And this is one of the facts that shows how we keep protecting ourselves after an accident. After the Fukushima accident in 2011, when the earthquake and tsunami destroyed the nuclear power plant, radiation was released into the air and the ocean. The sea near the plant was contaminated, the fish were contaminated, the food was contaminated. People couldn't eat the fish, they couldn't eat the food, they couldn't use the water. But Japan didn't just leave it like that. They started monitoring. They checked the sea every day. They checked the food every day. They check the air, they check everything. They make sure that radiation is not in the fish, not in the rice, not in the water, not in the vegetables. They want to make sure people are safe. Japan has been monitoring for more than 16 years, and they're still monitoring. They test the seafood, they test the crops, they test the environment, they test everything. And so far, most of it is safe. Most of the fish are okay, most of the food is okay, most of the water is okay. Some areas are still forbidden, still contaminated, still dangerous. But most of the sea and food is safe now. When I think about Japan monitoring, I feel a kind of security. We don't just leave accidents behind. We watch, we check, we make sure. Japan is a reminder that safety is ongoing. It's not just about cleaning up. It's about watching, testing, making sure people are safe. And Japan is doing that 16 years later. They're not stopping. They're still checking, still testing, still making sure. Because radiation can stay for a long time, and we have to be careful. Japan's monitoring is a reminder that we have to be responsible. We have to watch, we have to check, we have to make sure people are safe. And Japan is doing that every day for more than 16 years. Radiation is part of nature, but it needs to be used with care. And this is one of the simple and important facts that summarizes everything we've learned about radiation. Radiation is not just from accidents. It's not just from Chernobyl, Goiânia, or Fukushima. It's from nature, from the sun, from rocks, from space, from the earth itself. It's part of the world, part of life, part of everything. We receive radiation every day, from the sun, from the ground, from space. And most of it is safe. Most of it is natural. Most of it doesn't hurt us. But radiation can also be dangerous. Chernobyl, Goiânia, and Fukushima show us what happens when radiation is not controlled. When it's released accidentally, when it's not handled carefully, when it's not disposed of properly. It kills people, it contaminates land, it stays dangerous for decades. It destroys homes, it destroys communities, it destroys lives. So radiation needs care. It needs to be used carefully, controlled carefully, disposed of carefully. When it's used with care, it's good. It saves lives in hospitals, it helps treat cancer, it sterilizes food. It makes things safe. It's a tool, it's a medicine, it's useful. When it's not used with care, it's terrible. It kills, it destroys, it contaminates. Chernobyl, Goiânia, and Fukushima are reminders of what happens when we lose control. Radiation is part of nature, but it needs care as a reminder that we have to be responsible. We have to handle radiation carefully. We have to protect ourselves. We have to make sure it's safe. We have to use it for good, not for bad. We have to control it, not let it control us. And that's the lesson we have to remember. Learning about Chernobyl, Goiânia, and Fukushima helps us have responsibility. And this is the final fact, the one that summarizes the lesson of all these accidents. Chernobyl, Goiânia, and Fukushima are not just stories. They're not just history. They're warnings, they're lessons. They show us what happens when we lose control, when we make mistakes, when we don't handle radiation carefully. Chernobyl shows us that nuclear power plants can explode, that radiation can spread across countries, that it stays dangerous for decades, that 40 years later it's still there. Goiânia shows us that radioactive material can be thrown away like trash, that people can touch it without knowing, that children can play with death, that 4 people died just from touching something that looked beautiful. Fukushima shows us that earthquakes and tsunamis can destroy nuclear plants, that radiation can contaminate the ocean, that 160,000 people can lose their homes, that some areas are still forbidden 16 years later. When I think about learning from these accidents, I feel a kind of responsibility. We have to learn. We have to understand. We have to make sure we don't make the same mistakes. We have to handle nuclear power carefully. We have to dispose of radioactive material properly. We have to protect people from radiation. We have to make sure accidents don't happen again. Learning about Chernobyl, Goiânia, and Fukushima is a reminder that we have to be responsible. We have to handle radiation carefully. We have to dispose of it properly. We have to protect people. These accidents are not just history. They're lessons. And we have to learn from them. We have to remember them. We have to make sure we don't forget. Because if we forget, if we don't learn, if we don't be responsible, the next accident could be worse. Chernobyl, Goiânia, and Fukushima are warnings. They're telling us to be careful, to be responsible, to handle radiation with care, and we have to listen. We have to learn. We have to be responsible. And so we come to the end of our journey through radiation, through Chernobyl, through Goiânia, through Fukushima. These stories are not just about danger. They're about lessons, about responsibility, about learning to use radiation carefully. Radiation is part of nature. From the sun, from rocks, from space. Most of it is safe, most is natural. But sometimes when we lose control, it becomes dangerous. That's why we have to be responsible. That's why we learn from Chernobyl, Goiânia, Fukushima. As you drift closer to sleep, let these thoughts soften, fade, become quiet. The stories of radiation, they're part of the world. But now, it's time to rest. Time to let your mind go quiet. Time to sleep. There's nothing more to do. Nothing more to think. Just rest. Just drift. Just sleep. Thank you for listening to the Science for Sleep channel. If this helped you rest, consider liking and subscribing, one sleepy soul at a time. Good night and sweet dreams.